Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the FCS Football channel. And today we're back with another video and kind of a follow-up from my last video. Of course, that was my midfield targets for Manchester United. This time we're going to the front line and what attackers, forwards, mainly wingers, do I think Manchester United should be looking at this season. Now, when it comes to our front line, it's quite interesting because I don't really think we've got anyone to really play on that right-hand side. We've got Ahmad, who of course will come back from loan. Alanga's played on the right-hand side for a lot of this season. We've also got Marcus Rashford, Martial, who's mainly plays off the left if he's playing on the wing. He's coming back from loan. And Sancho can do both. But I think apart from probably Ahmad and maybe Alanga, I think every one of our wingers are much better on that left-hand side. And that's kind of where their preference to play is. And I think Ahmad and Alanga are too young to be given first-team spots right now. So I do think that's where Manchester United should be looking to recruit. And that is where I focused majority of these signings. So we've got 4 players. We've got 3 of them are wingers and we've got 1 centre forward. And the first winger is probably the most unlikely of them all, but I did want to include him on the list because I think he is such a good player, and that is Leroy Sane. Now the reports are that apparently he's not entirely happy at Bayern Munich and he could be willing to leave the club. Now Leroy Sane is of course 26 years old and stands at 6 foot tall. He's valued at around £55 million and has had a fairly good season. Well, a very good season, really. 14 goals and 15 assists in 45 games across all competitions. He has mainly played as a left winger for Bayern Munich and throughout his career, but has also played on the right for Manchester City, at times for Bayern Munich this season, for Germany. So I'm signing him to be a right winger. And like I said, I know he's not played there throughout his career, but he has played there on occasions, and I think he can do it very, very well. The only issue with Leroy Sane, to me, really is that Manchester City connection and how much you're going to have to pay for him, alongside the fact Bayern Munich probably don't want to sell him. Taking a deep dive into his game, he creates 4.45 shot creating actions per game. That puts him in the 86th percentile. So he's a creative monster, and to back that up, he averages 0.72 goals or assists per match. That's non-penalty goals or assists, I should say, which puts him in the 67th percentile. So he's an absolute threat from the flank at either, whether it's creating chances or putting them in the back of the net himself. I think that 14 goals and 15 assists this season really does show that. Another big part to Leroy Sane's game is his dribbling ability. Obviously, we know how quick he is, and he is a real danger. And that's kind of what I want on that right-hand side. I want someone who can get hold of the ball and dribble at players and knock it past them and carry the ball forward and really kind of just run at players. I think Jadon Sancho isn't a type of player that will look to kind of run in behind somebody. He's more someone that wants to take a man on, beat them and try and get across it. And I think Leroy Sane certainly can do that, especially given his time at Manchester City. He did that so often. Leroy Sane completes 2.4 dribbles per match, which is the 85th percentile, 48 carries and 2.6 carries into the final third. So he's a player that will get hold of the ball and will drag a team forward and really get your team in to attacking phases. Now, like I said, I don't think Leroy Sane is really someone Manchester United will be looking to get, nor do I think we actually will get him. Because, I don't know if he'd want to join United, given his Manchester City history. Literally got a tattoo of himself playing for Manchester City on his back. But I think if he is available and Bayern Munich are willing to let him go, it would be foolish for Manchester United not to be at least in the conversation or talking to Bayern Munich. Next up, we have the player that I think Manchester United should be going all out for this summer, and it's the French international Usman Dembele. Usman Dembele is 25, stands at 5'10". The only big issue with Usman Dembele is his injury record. Very, very injury prone. Usman Dembele looks like he might be over it. Since Xavi came into Barcelona, he's been exceptional. 2 goals and 13 assists in 32 games. Not great, but when I'm looking at these wingers, I'm looking for assists because we've got players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes if he gets back to close to his best. Jadon Sancho can also score goals. So we don't need a certain goal scorer. Although I do think Dembele is better than those 2 goals would suggest. Now, I think Usman Dembele may be the best winger in the world right now. And when I say winger, I'm not including players like Mohamed Salah, Lionel Messi, Neymar, who are more inside forwards. I'm talking out and out wingers. And that is what Usman Dembele is. You look at his stats, unbelievable. 5.1 shot creating actions per 90, 94th percentile. 0.81 goal creating actions per 90, 97th percentile. Expected assists of 0.65 per game, 99th percentile. 2.9 key passes per 90, 97th percentile. 0.91 crosses into the box per game, 99th percentile. 4 dribbles completed per 90, 99th percentile. 4.5 plays passed per, dribbled past per 90, 99th percentile. 57 carries per game, 98th percentile. He carries the ball for 388 yards this season, 99th percentile. 4 carries into the final third per 90, 99th percentile. And 2.6 carries into the penalty box, which puts him in, again, the 98th percentile. What a player. 2-footed and available on a free transfer. Yes, you're going to pay a lot of money wage-wise, but I think you're foolish not to get this deal done. Whoever gets this guy has got an absolute gem. He is absolutely phenomenal. I think he's exactly what Manchester United should be looking at. Direct, can score goals, will create loads of assists, and like I said, can carry a team forward. How this deal doesn't get done, I don't know. And why United aren't in the conversation for it right now. It looks like he might be off to Chelsea. If Chelsea get this guy, I don't know what to say. This guy's a monster. He is so good. And United have to be in for him. I think he'd be perfect to play on the wing alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho. So yeah, I think it's a deal that you've just got to get done. And I don't see anyone better. It doesn't take up any transfer budget. Yes, he's on big wages. But at 25, I think he is. Yeah, at 25, you've got him for a while. And if he is past them injury problems, this guy doesn't really have any bad qualities. Get him in. Get him in. He doesn't take up a transfer budget or a transfer fee. Get him in on a free and just say, right, we've got the best front three in the league. My last winger suggestion isn't someone I particularly think would work amazingly for Manchester United, but is someone I can see Manchester United potentially going for, and that is Antony. I think Antony, he's 22 years old, valued according to transfer market at around 32 million. You're going to spend closer, I imagine, to 50 to 60 million pounds on Antony to get him out from Ajax, but had a very good season for the Dutch side, picking up 12 goals and 8 assists in 36 games, all competitions. He's a very, very good player. Averages 1.6 key passes per game, 1.7 dribbles per game, 3.5 shots per game, and averages about 45 passes per game. Had a very, very good season in the Eredivisie. He's a good player. The only thing with Antony is that I don't particularly like. He's very similar to Jadon Sancho for me. And I don't particularly want to Jadon Sancho's. I want someone that kind of will look to open the game up, stay wide, and run at teams and run at players. And I think that's what Leroy Sane and what certainly Usman Dembele offers. And Antony, not quite that, but he's still a very good player. And if Erik ten Hag does want to bring Antony in from Ajax, I don't think it's a terrible deal. I just think there are better alternatives in the likes of especially Usman Dembele. And my last player is a backup striker. Now, I don't think a backup striker is essential. However, I do like the look of this guy, Skamaka from Sassuolo. He's 23 years old, he's 6'4", and according to Transfermarkt, he's valued at £27 million. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know loads about him. I know there's a few guys on TikTok that really, really rate him, and I think I've seen big clubs like Arsenal linked to him. I've seen some compilations here and there, and he does look like a very, very good player. He scored 16 goals in 42 games this season for club and country. And he's just a very, very good player. He averages 0.63 non-penalty goals per 90, which puts him in the 93rd percentile. 3 shots per game, 1.5 of which is on target. That 1.5 shots on target puts him in the 93rd percentile. He's also outperforming his expected goals by 0.22, which puts him in the 97th percentile for this, which means he's a very, very good finisher, meaning you don't have to create as high quality of chance for him to find the back of the net, which is absolutely fantastic. And he wins 55% of his aerial duels, putting him in the 95th percentile of all strikers. He's an absolute menace. I think he's good on the ball. At 23 years of age, he's only going to get better as well. And I think for the right fee, it's definitely worth bringing him in. £27 million, according to Transfermarkt, is his value. That again, I think you're closer to 40, 50 million pounds if you're going to bring him in. Like I said, I think a backup striker should be kind of last priority of all of our priorities. So I think a right winger, midfielders, and maybe a fullback at right back, and maybe a centre back should come before a striker. Especially with Anthony Martial returning from loan, who I think could do a very much do a good job as a backup striker to Cristiano Ronaldo this season. But I think if you can get him in, I think it's a worthwhile deal from what I can see of him and from what I've heard of him. He's a very, very good player. So that was my transfer targets for Manchester United's front line. So I've identified, obviously, Scamacca, Antony, Leroy Sane, and Usman Dembele. So if we were to sign Usman Dembele, who would be my number one priority and target for this front line, how would that see this Manchester United team line up? So obviously I've included my targets from the midfield list, which would see the back four if it stays the same. Sangare and Frenkie de Jong in a midfield double pivot, and a front four, Usman Dembele on the right wing, Jadon Sancho on the left wing, Bruno Fernandes at number 10, and Cristiano Ronaldo as a front four. To me, that front four, very much good enough to compete for a Premier League title. Midfield will very much help you do that as well. Defence then will need sorting out. That is one hell of a window, and that's 3 signings, and that takes us from in a position now and at the start of this season where I was like, I don't see us being in a title charge, to right, we could do this. We could genuinely do something this season and be there, and maybe not win it, but kind of do what Chelsea did, kind of best of the rest sort of thing. And I think that is kind of Manchester United's priority this summer. And I think with that team, and that team there, 95 million. You're spending 30 million on Sangare. You're spending 65 to 70 million on Frenkie de Jong. And you're spending nothing transfer fee-wise on Usman Dembele. And I think Manchester United do have... Well, we definitely have the finances to afford it. We've lost Pogba, who was on, 350k a week, 300k a week. Give that to Usman Dembele if you want. We have the money. This should be get done. And then the defence will be the only issue. So, yeah. Anyway, let me know down below your targets and what you think of my targets. And, yeah, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one. In a bit. Peace.